Hello and welcome into my latest live broadcast. I'm Carey Holzman, and today, no, actually, I'm not Carey Holzman. I'm Mitch Morrison, and we've got a real special build for you today. We're going to try something different because I am the only one wearing a microphone. Carey's not wearing a microphone, and what we thought we would do today is we're going to do a build. I'm going to let Uncle Carey do the build, and then I'm going to use a second camera and get all the close-ups you guys and gals say that you really like. And so it's something different, but it's Friday. I hope you're doing great. And so without further ado, let me introduce the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Carey Holzman.
Hey everybody,
Hey.
how are you? How's everybody
No,
doing?
the camera's over here. Yeah, over here. Yeah.
Hey everybody,
Okay.
how you doing?
Speaking of the mic. Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
hello.
okay.
Is this on?
Yeah, yeah. Are we getting sound? So,
Is it in sync?
is it in sync? So, how am I coming through? Is it okay? And this is going to be a great build, something different, and we'll see you do your magic. Yeah.
The client, if you remember, about a month ago, I did a build for a client that was doing day trading. So not day trading, stock trading.
Stock. Okay.
And he needed multiple monitors hooked up with a bunch of windows. Like these guys that do stock trading is crazy. You got to have right up to the second stock information. And he decided that system works so well, he wants another one just as a backup.
Okay.
But he didn't want to spend quite as much for it. And we didn't go as overboard with the graphics card. He needs the graphics card primarily to power multiple monitors.
Okay.
And the 1050 here is a $150 card all day long. It'll take care of that.
Okay. I noticed we do have some contributions. Did you want to give shout outs now or later, or it's...
Yeah, we'll do that
there.
now. Yeah, people are noticing the water. I've been looking at my face on camera and it's getting bigger. So I've decided it's the sugar in Coke that's doing it. So, you know, I go through this weird phase where I'll do a bunch of something like Pringles, like every day, and then I'll get burned out and I won't have them for 6 months. And with the Coca-Cola, I had stopped drinking it for a while. Then I said, I'll just have a bottle now and again. Then it became 2 bottles. Then I looked at the scale and I went, all right, time to stop. So I don't know how long I'll stop. I hate to say I'm going to stop for 3 months.
Right.
I'll just stop until I feel like I stopped long enough.
Yeah.
It could be 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 years. Don't know.
Yeah.
So for now, I got my water.
Your kidneys will thank you. Okay.
Wow.
So,
Me and my kidneys are fighting right now, so we're not getting along.
All right.
But I will say, no, they're fine. But I will say that it's all for vanity. It has nothing to do with my health. I just want to lose a few pounds.
Right. Yeah.
Without having to cut off an appendage.
Yeah.
So, welcome in everybody. Thank you for joining me. Let's take a look at...
Let me get a little closer so the mic will be able to pick you up.
Yeah, because Mitch is the only one wearing a mic today. Mitch is going to be doing commentary on today's build. And let's just take a quick look here. Look, Javier De La Torre says, I look great.
Yeah.
There's so much of me to look at.
Well,
so let's take a look real quick. Wow, a bunch of contributions have already come in, starting with Colin Hunt. Contributed 10 pounds, says, can't wait for the show. Have a Coke on me and give the dogs a cookie. Russ Martin says, happy Friday, Carey. Finally got 1903 Windows 10 installed. It's behaving itself. He was putting it on an X99. It was tough. He's got a complicated system that he had to struggle with to get that on. Roger Hall's contributed $9. He says, another small contribution to the cause. Thank you. And Chester Hughes has contributed $2. Heinrich Anderson has contributed 100 Swedish krona. Past Me has contributed €5. Thomas M has contributed $5. He says, for your awesome channel, Carey. And Alan Kirshner's contributed about $2.50. Carey, you do an amazing job. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Alan. Thank you to all of you for supporting the channel. There are the case badges. Anybody who ordered case badges in the last 2 months, they finally shipped out. I had to bring help in. I couldn't do it. And the case badges have been added as a buy it option at careyholzman.com. So you can just do that. It's a lot cleaner of a transaction than what I was doing. You can still do it the old way too, but you can just go to careyholzman.com. The bumper stickers are back in. And thank you to Steve Boker for creating the bumper stickers and the vinyl stuff that we've been selling. Some of it we've been giving through a little extra in there for people who had to wait for their case badge. Jesse Kirks contributed $5. Says TGIF and a 3-day weekend. Enjoy a water or two on me. And Michael Collis has contributed £4.99 and says happy Friday from the UK. Thank you both. I've had 3 very generous contributors this month that have blown my mind. And one of them there is Jesse. Another one, his name is Peter. There was also Stephen Bernstein. And I'm forgetting, boy, isn't that bad when I forget one? That's not good.
It'll come to you.
Oh boy. There's somebody I'm forgetting. But anyway, those 4, there's 3 or 4 contributors. I can't, I'm kind of speechless. Like, sometimes the generosity of people is overwhelming. So thank you guys so much for that. And of course, for the smaller contributions, those add up. Don't get me wrong, but when somebody gives you a large contribution, let alone 2 or 3 people, you know, that's like the equivalent of what I would do over a month's time, maybe, with these contributions of, you know, that come in. So a big thank you and gratitude to those folks in the community who are really helping to, you know, get this channel moving in the right direction. And I may actually be able to get a studio if this keeps up. Can you imagine? Stephen Anderson has contributed $1.99. Thank you, Stephen. And Greg Bentow has contributed $5 for water. Good to see you on a Friday. All right. So happy Friday, everybody. I'm sorry the audio's not good with me because Mitch is wearing the mic, but Mitch is going to be doing all the talking from here on out.
Yeah. And it's been a long time since I've had to be this interesting, but I will do my best to commentary while Carey's doing his build.
And then this Stephen Anderson just contributed $9.99. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. You can see sometimes people don't listen.
Right.
Right. Okay, that's your Coke over there, right?
Yes. Okay. Now, should I grab the camera and shall we begin, or?
Oh, a contribution came in from £5 from a name that doesn't exist and a message that was retracted. That's weird, but thank you, whoever you are. Yeah, let's grab the portable camera too. We can use them both.
All right.
Remember how that comes apart?
Yeah.
Let's turn it on.
Down and to the left till it locks.
Got it?
Yeah.
That's for you. And then, oh, Thomas Beckenstow's contributed $20. Thank you so much, Thomas. Let's try both cameras at the same time. Ton Van Belen has contributed €5. Says, thank you for promising a case badge. I will put it on my next build. It will go fast, I think. Yes, your case badge went out, I think, 2 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. So everybody should have their case badges. They usually take about 10 days to go anywhere around the world, about 3 to 5 days within the United States. So probably by next Friday, everybody should have them. If you've ordered one and not received it by next Friday, please send me an email reminder and I'll make sure that it goes out now that I have some help. And my thanks to my sister for picking up the slack there and helping me out. I want to remind people that I'm not doing any technical support for free outside of YouTube. When I'm not filming, I'm working with paying customers. If you'd like to become a paying customer, I will gladly be able to help you out at that point. But if you're looking for free support, be sure you ask during one of the live feeds. Rick Hubbard just contributed £5. He says, not for a new cooler tray. It was me. I hit the wrong button. Sorry. Not sure what that's about. But thank you. D. Cabral's contributed $5. Says, hey, Carey, thanks for the education on life as well as computers. Yeah, well, the Life 101 channel, I'll be doing more on that as well. All right, enough of me. Let's get started. What do you say?
Okay.
You good there?
Okay. All right. So,
Got my eye on you.
Yeah, on your eye. It's Friday. So are we using our go-to 200R is the case, of course, that we're going to be using. Very nice. And what on the build would you like to try first?
You're directing, you tell me.
Well, obviously, first things first, I think we should remove the side panels.
All right, what do you want me to do with these?
I will 3D zoom it in, coming right in, and then right on the floor. Okay, there we go.
That was very anti-climactic.
So, and here's his beautiful screwdriver. Let's spin it around here and remove both side panels.
Where's my shoe?
These screws are not magnetized, so be careful with them. The thumb screws. Here's one side panel off, and then the next. Very nice. And oh, I'm thinking, here's our box of supplies. We'll set that to the side. We'll untie this, and this is all the front umbilicals. Those are all the cables. So we've untied those. We'll get them out of the case. We'll take a look at what's in the box here. Got some zip ties, some screws, some standoffs, all pretty common.
I'm going to put this stuff over here.
Okay. And what do you think, guys and gals? Should we start with the power supply? Is that, since we have the case open? So Nick says he needs his seasick pills. Well, Nick, I've only had 10 Cokes here before we started, so I'll try to remain just as steady as I possibly can. And there you go. So how about the power supply? What we have here is an EVGA 500. What's BR stand for?
Bronze.
Oh, bronze.
80
yeah.
plus bronze.
Yeah, I was just seeing if you were paying attention.
This is a cheap power supply. It's about $50.
Okay.
And it'll have a 3-year warranty on it. So some of the more expensive power supplies from EVGA, have twice that or 3 times that warranty at about twice the cost.
Okay.
But for this build, because it's just a 1050, 500 watts will kill it. I mean, in a good way.
Okay. All right. Well, let's just open that bad boy up.
Jim Maloney's just contributed $20. Carey, you're the only person I've ever donated money to on YouTube. Keep up all the good work that you do.
Thank you, Jim. You're the man. Happy Friday.
People are generous today.
I already cut it for you. I'm way ahead of you, but I already cut that box.
You cut it?
Yeah.
Oh. When you're holding a camera and say cut, I'm like, what do you mean cut?
Yeah.
We're live. There's no cutting. You were confusing me more than I normally am. Isn't that weird the way they box this power supply in a square box? This is about the cheapest power supply you'll ever see me in. This is what I consider as low as I will go.
Okay.
Nothing less than this. This is when it comes to what's acceptable to Carey for supporting his customers, when you're looking at racing to the bottom, we're pretty far from the bottom with this. But this is as close to the bottom as I'll get. And look, it even comes with the black screws. The more expensive, better warranty power supply from EVGA came with silver screws. How come the cheaper one comes with black screws?
Yep.
Documentation.
Okay.
There you go, Lyle. Look at Lyle. Good boy today. What do you think, boy? You gonna help me?
I'm not that interested.
You want this box? No?
No.
I'm not in the mood to be a hamster today.
Okay, so we'll take it out of its plastic. As you can see, this is not fully modular. It's
not modular at all.
Not modular at all. I just like saying modular. Okay, so here we go. Fan down, of course. Easy peasy. Scott M., Mitch and Carey in the house. Hope you guys have a great Memorial Day weekend.
That's right. It is Memorial Day weekend.
I forgot. Here we go.
American law, we have to barbecue.
Yeah. All right, let me get in there. You just want to start the screws first. And we'll tighten them once they're in. And since, Carey, you are mailing this, correct?
Yes,
to a client, New York, so we're going to tighten these down, not to where you're going to strip the screws, but they are short screws, so you want to get them at least snug for the trip to the Big Apple, and so you would hate to have that come loose and bounce all around. It would destroy the build, and so it was that easy to install a power supply.
We're not doing an optical drive on this build.
No optical drive, okay.
It's the power cable that goes to the customer. I don't use the power cables because they always work, and I don't like to, they're wrapped up so nice. I don't want to unwrap it. So I use my own power cable for testing, and the customers gets theirs. Did you cut all the boxes?
I did not. Just the
first
just the one, yeah.
Okay. I need that I/O shield out of the motherboard box. We'll put that on, and that'll finish case prep. Just the power supply and I/O shield.
See how easy anyone can do it.
Well, if I can do it,
anyone can do it. Isn't that right, Smedley? Right. Where is
it? At least you didn't call me Chuckles.
How about Cuddles? All right.
People are going to want some explanation for that one.
All right, here we go.
You know what? I need this out anyway. Because we're going to do motherboard prep. The Go Faster sticker. See how fast that fell out of the box? Put that back in there. The rest of the, I'll put all the spare parts in there. The documentation, power cable, all that can go in the empty motherboard box. Keep it all together.
Now, I will tell you, with the I/O shield, you want to handle it carefully, gingerly. I mean, yeah, just that careful. And putting it in, there's 3D for you right there, is not difficult, but you want to put it in with the...
Let's stay it over here.
Okay.
Where do you want to get it? Or on the outside?
On the outside, I think. You will hear it kind of click or snap once it's entirely in place on each corner, right?
Yes. There, I think it finally went in.
And as always, you want the sound. Are those sound? The holes?
Yeah, that's audio.
Audio always down. Never make the mistake of flipping that over. And so now we'll take a look here at this octopus, and we'll untie it. Kind of straighten them out. And it was that easy to prep the case. Power supply and I/O shield. And that's for the graphics card? No, that's for the...
That's going to be that 8-pin CPU power connector that I have trouble putting on.
Once you have the...
I need to put it on before I put the motherboard in. Because this case is just a little too short. You know, once we put that big heatsink on there, it's going to be difficult to get that cable in that tight spot.
Okay.
So I've learned that trick over the School of Hard Knocks over time.
So it was just that easy to prep the case, and we're moving on now to prepping the motherboard.
Yeah, so we'll just move this aside so we have some room to work here. Don't need that box anymore.
It's always good to maybe build on the motherboard box. Be careful taking the anti-static bag off, of course.
Oh, bring it down a bit. There you go, just like that.
All right.
Oh, you know what the problem is? You don't know what you're looking at. That's why.
Oh.
Now you should.
Yeah, now I didn't have my window open. There we go. And this is a Gigabyte Z370 XP. What's the SLI stand for?
That's if you want two Nvidia.
Oh, right. Yeah, graphics card. That's kind of fallen by the wayside, correct?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's still
graphics cards today are pretty beefy.
Even graphics card today will still support it, but there's a few people that will benefit from it. It's a nightmare configuration.
Okay.
And not everything's compatible with it, and it can introduce all new problems because you have it.
Okay. Remove the plastic. And let's see. We have an NVMe. I think we should do that first.
I agree.
Now, there are two slots. As Carey pointed out here, you can put one there and there. I don't recommend, and I think Uncle Carey doesn't recommend, putting it close to the CPU.
Correct.
Put it as farthest away from that heat.
So we're going to put it here.
So we'll put it here. And as you can see, they come in various lengths. That's kind of the standard one, is the screw that he's removing. What is that? Is that an 80?
80 millimeters in length.
80 millimeter in length, 60 or a 42. But 80 seems to be the...
Well, there's even one 110.
Right here. Okay.
Even longer. That represents how many millimeters in length this little stick is right here. This is called a 2280 because it's 22 millimeters wide. It's 80 millimeters long.
Okay. And what have we got here? We've got a Samsung 970
Pro.
Pro.
Fastest drives you can buy. This is a 512 gig Samsung 970 Pro, which has a great warranty on it. And again, one of the fastest. This is in stock trading, so the market changes and fluctuates by the millisecond. See how that's going to go in? It kind of goes on an angle.
Till the gold pins disappear, and then you have your nice diving board. And then you just gently, don't force that screw. It's only there to just keep that in the down position, and that easy to install.
And look at here.
That easy.
If I open this up. Is that all the way back? Yeah. Okay.
Hidden documentation. It's a prize. Okay. Wow. No go faster sticker, but documentation. And there you go. That easy to install some of the fastest onboard. What would you know? Yeah. Just like that. Okay, now, you gonna put in the RAM?
No, I'm just opening up the retention levers because they were in front of me.
Okay.
Let's put the CPU in.
All right. What we're using here today, beautiful Intel iCore.
iCore?
iCore, yeah, Core, yeah.
That would be Apple.
Yeah, Core i7-8700k, correct?
Yes.
All right. Everybody knows, of course, K is for overclocking, if you were so inclined.
What else does it mean?
Kite. Kato?
The K
Cautious?
is 10% faster.
Oh,
Right out of the box.
okay.
So even if you don't intend on overclock, here, put it on me.
Yeah.
Even if you don't intend on overclocking a K processor, but you want the fastest processor money can buy of that version of that processor, an 8700 is 10% slower out of the box than an 8700K. The K also means it's unlocked. Doesn't mean you have to. There's some people with such a shallow mindset that they think to buy a K CPU and to not overclock it defeats the purpose of buying the CPU. And those people are profoundly misunderstanding of what that K actually does for you. Many people just want the performance right out of the box. They don't want to overclock it. And so by getting the K version, you get a faster CPU out of the box, 10% faster. And the K CPUs do not come with coolers. And I find the i7 stock coolers are not adequate anyway. They're too loud. So we're going to put the this here, the Mugen 5. We'll put that on there. So if we would have bought the 8700,
right, and
we would have saved a little bit of money, but then we would have tossed the cooler.
Right.
So we would have wasted some money when you think of it that way. So you spend a little bit more money to go a little faster, and then we spend about $48 to buy the Mugen 5 currently.
Okay, all right, there's our brains of the computer. CPU, 8700K. Now, okay, everybody knows there's a retention lever. Up that comes. Very careful. Do not touch the both this. There should be a corner that's kind of standard that you can gently lift up with your thumb and open that up. And Carey will show you on one corner there's a little triangle. I'll try to get in here to where, can you see that? Right there. Ah, beautiful. And that's going to go right there. And you're just gonna there to there. And Carey does it interesting where he puts one side and then kind of secured and then just gently sets it down. And just, it's seated just like that. Now he's going to close that, get it under the screw, and then there's going to be some force on the lever and that'll pop right off. And as always, you want to keep that in the box, because if you ever have to return this motherboard, you would have to put that, you're going to take off your CPU of course, but you would have to put that back on the motherboard for RMA. So please keep that in the box and you'll always know where it is. So there you go. And is it time for the glove?
I could go get the glove.
All right.
I don't need it yet, but we'll need it soon. Might as well grab it now.
No rubber glove. How do you pronounce that? A nitrate? Nitrile? I mean...
Nitrile.
Nitrile.
Nitride. Don't make me get the glove.
What next? Our go-to scythe,
I'm gonna
Skype.
go ahead and cut the RAM open, and I'll put the knife away.
Scythe, Scythe, Scythe. Scythe. Mugen. 5. Now here's our parts, and as you've seen in previous videos, comes with a beautiful screwdriver that people always like.
Yeah, it's not some cheap piece of junk. It's a really quality driver. Oops, I just dumped all the parts out.
And we have parts in there for both Intel and AMD installations.
So we're not using that.
So we're going to separate out the AMD.
Not using this.
Set that aside.
And we're not using two of these. In fact, I'm going to get a Ziploc bag.
And if you've never seen how this cooler's installed, I can't wait for Carey to show you, because he is correct. Of the 5 desktops that I've built, it's just the easiest install I've ever seen here. Here are the screws.
The short standoffs there, so we're going 1, 2.
The short ones are for the AMD.
No, those are for an Intel socket 2066 or 2011.
So we will set all the AMD supplies into a
socket 2011.
2011 into a very nice Ziploc.
2066. Am I getting those numbers right? I think that's right.
He doesn't have his glasses.
2011 and 2066.
Okay. Okay, now watch how easy this is going to come here. We've got
unboxing.
Okay, we've got a fan. And you can pick these up for about how much?
$48 at Amazon. The links for everything are in the notes below the video.
Okay. Set that aside for a moment as we prep the get the actual brackets itself in place. Now, this is interesting. Here's the bracket. You got the 2 holes right there.
We want to come through the middle hole of each one of these.
So you're going to have to hang on to it.
Notice I'm not touching anything metal on this motherboard, so an anti-static strap isn't necessary since I'm not touching any of the motherboard components. And we're going to just find a hole like right here, and we'll make sure on the other side we come in through that middle. See that?
Yep.
And then we'll do this other corner in the same way, and it'll hold the bracket in for us. So once again, looking at the CPU, we put that one in. We'll go to the other corner. Right there. And then look on the other side, make sure we're coming up to that middle hole. Oops. I just slipped out of my hand. Let's do that one more time. There it goes.
And now the bracket will be in place, so it'll be much easier to install the other 2 screws.
Yeah, now I don't have to worry about the alignment. And we'll use their included
screwdriver, which is great. And you want to tighten opposite corners. Don't cinch down one corner. Just get them tight on the opposite corners. And now will come the final. And just till the screw stops, correct? I mean, that's all.
Yeah, you don't want to crush the motherboard, but you do want these tight.
Tight. Boom, that easy. Okay, now it's time for the brackets, and they go on a particular way.
So you notice they're very long, oblong holes, and we're going to use the most inside one of the furthest. So this last one, we're going to ignore these two. Going right to the edge, closest to the bottom. With the cutout facing the CPU, going over that retention bracket. And the other one goes on exactly on the other side. And we'll use these screws. You see these screws down here? Those are the screws we're going to use to tighten that down. And I'm going to just do this quickly with my cordless driver. But you should not use a cordless driver unless
you're a professional.
Yeah. It's always safe to use a cordless driver to take screws out. You run into some potential problems when you're using it to put screws in.
Again, same on the other side. The notch of the bracket facing toward the CPU.
I just want to make sure those are a little bit tighter than what that. I've got the torque setting set very low on my cordless driver, just to be cautious.
And that easy.
Oh, I'm not keeping this. This will go in the motherboard box. This goes to the customer owns this because they bought the cooler.
And you'll be surprised at the amount that you use that.
For anything.
For anything.
Mm-hmm.
Great screwdriver, so.
And we're not done yet. I'm going to use that driver in just a minute. I didn't mean to put it away. If you're just joining us, I'm not wearing a microphone. Only Mitch is wearing a microphone, and Mitch is doing the commentary. I'm only speaking if it's necessary to describe something or to correct something. So my audio is going to be low because I'm using Mitch's
Mike. Okay. Now, a lot of people ask the question, which direction does the cooler go? And that is all dependent on, am I correct, the RAM and the where the fan is going to go, whether you're going to push or pull. Is that correct?
Well, with these brackets on like this, the mounting holes are right here, so that can only go on one way or flipped 180 degrees the other way. See the cooler?
Right.
These screws have to go into these center holes. So this fan can go on that way or that way.
Yeah.
But notice it's bent off to one side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you notice there's a big space right here where my hand is. That's place for the fan to go. Now you can add another fan. That is possible.
Right.
We're not going to, and I've never felt the need to do that or required it. And there's a piece of plastic on here.
Very important.
Keeping the surface free of any contaminants. And you want to remove that piece of plastic before you install this, and you want to prevent touching what's under here. First, we have to apply thermal compound.
Dr. Carey, if you please. Operation. And the Mugen, there's 3D right there. And the Mugen comes with its own compound.
Yeah, but you'll see that plunger's pretty far down. But there's still enough in here for probably 2 to 3 applications.
Pea size, grain, it doesn't matter because Carey is going to spread it over the entire CPU, which I certainly recommend as well for uniform.
That's a big size pea.
Yeah, uniform consistency. And so we'll watch him paint.
Yeah, I put too much on there. So I'm going to use a clean finger, and that'll pull up some more, and I'll use another clean finger, and that just pulls up that excess.
Now you want it to where you can't see any of the writing that was on the CPU. He's dabbing it like that to make it a little tacky.
And to prevent any air bubbles.
Air bubbles, and it'll go on beautiful when we take the tape off. Now he's going to pull the glove inside out, and just like that, no muss, no fuss, no mess.
Yeah, you don't want that stuff on your
hands. You got some on your hands. Just kidding.
That's a booger.
Okay, all right. So now,
it's not mine.
Very important, do not forget to remove that sticker. Don't touch that. Okay, you want that very clean, and now what he's simply going to do is place it.
The orientation is very important. We want that fan, which is on this side, to be closest to the RAM.
So he's going to set it down, and that beautiful included screwdriver. It's easy on this side.
Just a couple turns
to get it started. And then we want to show you here, it's got to go through that hole, and I wish I could show you.
Just kneel down.
There's not much light, but let's see if I can get it. He came through the hole and then down to right there. I think
so
they can see it.
Bring the camera further down. Let's try and go this way.
I think they can see it. Yeah, right there. Give it a couple of turns.
So we'll come across to the other
side. Then we'll come across. And then through that, down. I hate to make you guys seasick, but it's the close-ups people like. And again, you're going to tighten that till it stops.
Yeah, it stopped. That one stopped too.
What did that take? I mean, all of 5 minutes to install a fantastic cooler on the motherboard. And what we're going to do, everybody knows on the fan, some of these, not this one particular, have plastic that Carey will peel off. On this one, it's just the
that's
logo.
only on the it's only on the bottom of some power supplies.
Oh,
not
okay.
on the case fans.
Okay. Now we are aware, of course, that this side is the intake. Mm-hmm. The one on the back with the spine is exhaust.
That's right. And we want the exhaust to blow.
We want the exhaust to blow to the back.
Towards these ports. Raise the camera a little bit. We want the air to go this way, through the heatsink.
So that's a push configuration, correct, that you're doing?
Yes.
Yeah, if you had the fan on here and pushing it out, that would be pull.
Yeah, and you can do both push and pull.
Pull. But for this, and then this is just great. Look at this. You got a notch that just fits the fan. Isn't that great? Just sets it right in there. And then all he's going to do is, you're not stretching the spring.
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of.
You pull it.
Pull it to there's a notch right there that you can see.
Whoops,
whoop, yeah.
I let it go. Didn't put the other side on and I let it go.
So I'll have Carey point out the notch that the clip goes in. See, it's right.
Oh, right up in here.
Right up.
See, there's a cutout.
There's a cutout.
There's also a cutout down here, like on socket 2011, where you got RAM on the other side. Notice that cutout? That's well thought out for tall RAM. But this motherboard doesn't have RAM on this side. It's only RAM on that side. And you'll see that this cooler does not interfere with the installation of any of our RAM. Lots of room there.
Okay. So boom, that easy.
Let me get a zip tie for that.
Yeah. This, of course, is a normal twist tie with metal. So you don't want to keep that. You want to remove that. And let's see if I can show them where the CPU fan is going. Carey can maybe point it out in a second. where it's going on. I'm going to lean over, kill my back. All right, and he's going to tie it up with a zip tie. Very fastidious. It's a big word, you know.
Like abbreviated?
Like abbreviated.
That's
yeah.
a long word for something that means short word.
And it's gonna go right.
Can you see where it says CPU fan?
Let's see. Can you hold it? And right on here. Where we're going. It does say right on the motherboard CPU fan. You want me to, because you're holding it, you want me to put it on?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. There's a notch on our two little rails here, and so we want that to go.
Everybody's upside down.
Oh.
Here, I got it.
The suspense is killing me. He'll never be able to hold the camera and put it on. Let's see.
This is a lot easier than it looks.
Isn't that amazing? Okay.
Why is my video upside down?
Boom. Because you have the camera upside down.
Oh.
Don't show me. All right. So, that easy to install.
You don't even know which way. I don't even know which way to
is
hold
up.
the camera, but I can build a computer.
All right. So, that easy to install our CPU cooler.
Now we've got to put the RAM in.
Got to put the RAM in.
With this motherboard, we can use either the gray or the black. It doesn't matter. When we're using 2 sticks of RAM, we're using this RAM here, the Corsair Vengeance, 32 gigs. Each stick is 16 gigs. Because we're not using onboard video, the speed of the RAM really doesn't matter.
Okay, and as Uncle Carey has taught you, you want to take this out. Don't bend the RAM, bend the plastic around. Ah, there's some stickers there too. It's not crucial that you remove it, but anything to do with heat in a computer you'd like to avoid. And now, as we'll see here, there's a notch on the RAM. Thumb, thumb, click, click. Then we're going to do the other gray slot, every other. That easy to install the RAM. And is that it on the motherboard? That's been prepped. See how simple that is.
That's it.
That's it. But you should have fun. That's the thing about building a computer. Don't get nervous. Don't go fast. Just take your time.
Yeah, it's not.
And enjoy the build. And I guarantee you, once you build one machine, you're going to be so excited that you're going to want to build another one for family or friends, or even for yourself, a second one. And it was that easy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Do we need to install it into the case?
Yeah, it's time to put the motherboard into the case, which means I got to hook up that CPU power connector first.
Okay.
Which is always fun for me. No, I don't expect this to be a very easy thing for you to be able to film, because I can barely see it myself when I'm doing this.
But you'll see that he did pull that cable through up here before installing the motherboard. We've got the standoffs, of course, that'll sit on. And that cable has to go on to what part of the motherboard? It says CPU power.
Yeah, it's an 8-pin power connector that's right over the heatsink. And with this particular case, it's just not very tall, so it doesn't give me any room to get in there after I put the motherboard in. So I've got to do this now, and it's a little bit of a challenge.
How about the forceps?
Forceps could help, but I kind of feel better doing it this way because...
you'll know it's snug.
Yeah, there's two of them together, and forceps are great if it was just one cable, but
right.
I've got these two cables are split.
Ah,
and I've got to push them together because
okay.
they generally don't go on one at a time.
Okay.
If you get one side in, it can be, you could not have enough slack left in the remaining plug to get it to bend enough to get it back into the socket. So try and get them both on at the same time.
Okay.
And it is a bit of a tight fit.
Right now we got about 933 people watching. Thank you for tuning in. Happy Friday. Happy holiday weekend, everybody.
Yeah, for those of us in the United States. Memorial Day on Monday, so it's a 3-day weekend for us.
You know, you can put on Lindsey Buckingham's Holiday Road.
Well, that's a dated reference.
From the movie Vacation. Well, we're both old. Leave me alone. All right.
What? Speak up.
Yeah, Sonny. Again, take your time. You'll be able to.
This is really difficult. I'm trying to do it so you can see it too, but then I can't see it very well. In fact, there's really no position where I am seeing it really well.
Okay. Well, I understand that the viewers will have to understand that, you know, you getting that.
If this was a modular cable, I would have done it outside of the case and ran it the other way to the power supply.
So there is something to be said about, you know, spending a little extra money for fully modular.
Or spending a little extra money for a taller case.
Yeah.
You only have to do it once.
Yeah.
You just plug this in once. It should be good for.
This is a mid-tower case, guys, and gals. So
yeah, it's not a small case by any means, but it's not. If they had just made it a little taller.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
People
would have made me a little taller.
Yeah. People tend to look at full tower cases and go, I don't like it. It's too large.
It's too heavy.
It won't fit under the desk. It's hard to move around. So.
But there's more than one size mid-tower. It goes within a range of height. And they do make mid-towers that are just a little taller. It makes this process easier with a non-modular power supply is what we're dealing with. Yeah, I'm going to have to get a flashlight because I just can't see in there.
Okay. Don't you hold it, I'll hold it. And so hang on, folks.
It's a lot easier when I can see.
What do you think? You got it?
See if it pops off. No, it's good. It's
all right.
Now, to put the board in, just bring this forward. We need to make sure that the I/O ports. What do we knock down?
A flashlight.
Oh. We want to make sure that these I/O ports here on the back are lining up.
And you want to make sure that sometimes, what do you call it? The little
grounding
that grounding strap. This one I think is
Yeah, it would be right here.
Is right
but
there.
I bent it up before we started.
Ah,
And you'll see how high that's sitting up right there?
yeah,
If I push down on the corner of this board, I can sort of bend that back down. See that?
yeah,
So it kind of locked down.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of sitting too far. No, actually, I think that's
Yeah.
pretty good. Now we can put the screws in and secure the motherboard into position. So for that, we're going to use this bag of screws right here. Oh, you know what? There's a little plastic stand-up I like to use on these. Let me go grab one. Optional.
Is it just with this particular case that you?
Well, the Corsair cases and the Gigabyte boards, Gigabyte just has this extra mounting hole on many of their boards. I've yet to see a case support, except for Gigabyte cases. You don't, look, if you're just a regular home builder, you're not going to have one of these little plastic stand-ups. This is from the 90s, the way motherboards used to mount, and I have a bunch of them, so I'm happy to get rid of them. I need to take the board out, even though I have it perfectly in there, and I need to put this in this mounting hole right here, because there's no hole in this case for that mounting hole. But there's a mounting hole right next to it, so it's not like the board's going to sag because of it. So you don't have to use that. Now I get to do this all over again.
You want to make sure you don't have that rear exhaust fan cable in the way, anything like that.
Which I think I did. I did have it in the way. There we go. Now I can put the screws down. And I need 5 of these screws out of this bag right here. These are the coarse threaded screws. Need 5 of those.
And again, I would not recommend using a powered screwdriver for this.
No, not unless you're a professional. Don't do it. Use the included driver that comes with the cooler. And tighten these down by hand. You want to keep these, don't tighten them too much. Again, the point here is to just keep the motherboard secured in its position.
And where else have we got here? Oh.
And the last ones are real.
Oh, it's over here.
Yeah, way up in that dark corner there. I don't think I can get the right angle on it from here. Flashlight and see again. And again, that has to do with the size of the cooler and the height of the case.
Did we break it? All right. Well,
Yeah, it's gonna go right in there. Just don't seem to be cutting it. Where's the screw go? Yeah, I'm a bit concerned that that's not on right. No, that's the problem. I don't have that 8-pin connector on correctly. This gets to come back out again. I have to do it again. That's okay. Not a big deal.
Did it not snap?
Oddly enough, one side went in and the other side went halfway in.
Ah.
And it's so dark I just can't see it. But it's covering up the mounting hole. That's why it's not going in. And somewhere down in there is the screw.
And like the painter Bob Ross said, there are no mistakes, just happy accidents.
You know, some of the accidents aren't too happy when you're dealing with PCs, but they're always learning experiences, and that's always a good thing. I just want to know where that screw went. Oh, I heard it. Where is it?
There it is.
Okay. We're going to try this one more time.
Take 3. Okay.
Take 8,742.
Make sure to get that CPU fan, that rear exhaust fan, out of the way.
Yeah, you can even take that rear exhaust fan out. Some cases it's easier to do that than to keep messing with the fan power cable there. Should just stick up there. And then it's the least of my concerns right now because where that fan cable is has nothing to do with me putting this connector on.
Is that enough light for you?
I don't know. So part of the problem is I'm trying too hard to make it look good for the camera. So let me just have you step away for a minute. So I
Okay.
can get in here and I'll just keep blaming you.
Yes, sir.
You're in my life.
Here, you need some light, though?
I need more than light.
We wish
I
we
need about just a little more slack on this cable. It's not helping that they don't give us a lot of slack, but that's typical on the cheaper power supply. So you got to work a little bit harder. But again, once it's done right, it shouldn't have to be done again for a long, long time. So the other option that would make life a lot easier would be to go ahead and install the motherboard into the case with the CPU and everything on it, and then put the heatsink on last. Then you wouldn't be struggling like I am right now. And I've only done this 5 times in the last 6 weeks, so you think if I haven't learned it by now, I'm just not going to. Sometimes I just like to do things the hard way. It's part of what makes me who I am.
And it's how we learn.
Yeah. When I get tired of struggling, I will wisen up.
I actually would like to see you build one of these where you put the board in, then mount the Mugen second. That would be kind of interesting.
Yeah, I haven't done it that way. So
we'll make a note of it, guys.
Should remember that for today.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I'll
be building another one before. I have a hunch.
It's a holiday weekend.
Let's go to this corner first, since it's the difficult one.
Did you need the light, or
I don't think so. Now I can see it.
See it?
This driver is just not quite long enough to get down in there, so I have to
use an extension.
Yeah. Let me go grab an extension.
And wait till you guys see this extension. Nice. Okay.
What do I do with the screw, though? Do I leave it in there? Yeah, it was easy when I had the extension.
Right tool for the right job. We're going to install the last 3. Unless Carey swallows them. So there we go. Where's the next one go? Okay. And finally, in that corner,
that's it.
Boom, just like that. The motherboard is installed in the case.
Put that big power connector on.
Okay, that's our 24 pin. Try to get your cables untangled. It'll make the job that much easier.
Yeah, later on when we do our cable management, it'll be a lot easier with those cables not interwoven with each other like that.
Feeding that through. Now that's a 24 pin. I'm going to lean down here. Oh, so I can get maybe a close up. I don't know whether I.
It's really dark.
Yeah. Only goes on one way. Just like that. Let me show them here. Okay, I had the shoe on. All right. Now what are we going to install? Our 3.0, our front connector. Goes right there. There's a notch on it.
Yeah, it only goes in one way.
Boom, just like that. And what next here? Is that our audio? You decide kind of where you're going to feed it through. It all depends on where it is on the motherboard.
There's a pin missing or blocked. And then on the motherboard connector, it's always somewhere in this left quadrant. There'll be a pin missing, either on the top or the bottom row. So that this only goes in one direction. I can't see it with beams. I think it's on the bottom. Yep. And I just kind of wiggle and push that on. There's no clip or anything. It just fits in with friction. And then finally, we've got the switches and LEDs here.
Okay, now
there's a G connector in there we can use.
Okay. Some do, some don't. Let me show you guys all the different cables here that are labeled. For example, that one says power switch. It did come with it. This one is upside down, but this one is a reset switch. But having one of these connectors is great. Makes the job that much easier.
I'm just going to put these screws away because we're not going to need any more of these.
Okay.
And I don't want them rolling off the table.
Into the motherboard box they go, and you'll always know where everything is. And why is that called a G connector? I mean, that's the name that it's been given.
It's because there's a Q connector.
Q.
I guess G's for gigabyte.
Oh, okay. So now it's always nice to unravel, get these straight. What have we got on this one that you're going to put on first is
hard drive LED.
Okay.
Wow, my eyes are getting bad, Mitch. I can't make out any words on that. So let me get some glasses. Imagine what my eyes are going to be like in 5 more years. It's not going to be good. Imagine what these kids staring at their cell phones all day, what their eyes are going to be like.
That's right.
All right, so this is HD.
Okay.
We put that on with the positive cable facing this closest edge.
And does it snap in, or it just slides on?
It's got a little snap
into it?
Yeah, it locks in.
Okay.
And then the reset switch will go right beside that.
Okay.
See, when I pull on it, it's just coming right out.
Yeah.
So that means it's not snapping in properly. There. And then the other 2 cables go on top of those 2 cables. With the power LED above, the hard drive LED, positive closest to the edge. In fact, you even have to push that little clip away to get enough space in there to get these underneath it. And then it locks it down.
Ooh.
That's why I always pull on them when I think they're in. Because if they come back out, that means I didn't have them in right.
So you do get a little click, kind of.
Yeah, it's a little tiny click. I'm hearing it. And then the last one is the power switch that goes right beside the power LED and right above the reset switch. Even though it's labeled as positive and negative on switches, there is no positive or negative. So you don't have to worry about putting them on upside down or anything like that.
Now we're going to figure out.
I just realized, see how I interwove that cable right there?
Okay.
That's got to come off. Little details. It's got to go like that. And now we can take this one and run it under there. And with the cables on the left side, just plug it onto this large connector. And we're ready for our test fire. What do you think?
Just like that.
Yeah, we built it. It's built it.
That didn't take long, did it, guys and gals? But it was fun.
Like a speeding bullet.
It was fun.
Wait, is that right? All right, let's take a look here. Let's move this a little closer to the edge. So
Okay. Because it's time for a test fire now, can I set this down and we can go back to wide? Or
yeah,
the
sure.
wide cam?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
My arms are killing me. All right, so.
All right, well, you do that.
That.
I'll come over here and flip this back over there. Whoops. Sorry about that.
So front in, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Front in, hand down.
Yeah, and I'll turn it off to save the battery
Right.
on that. Looks like I might have missed a few contributions in here. Let's give a couple shots out. Don't go too far away from me so people can hear me.
Uh-oh, did you restart?
Well, when I switched scenes,
Okay.
that was left on.
Oh,
So
sorry.
when it switches the scenes, it activates it.
All right.
Because I forgot to switch it off. Jesse Kirk has... Let me start again. Jesse Kirk has contributed $5. Says, awesome job, gents. Hats off to both of you. Enjoying the build. Thank you both, Carey and Mitch. But thank you, Jesse. Thomas Keats has contributed 99 cents Canadian. Scott M has contributed $4.99 and said, Mitch and Carey in the house.
Yeah.
Hope you guys have a great Memorial Day weekend. You put your name first, so is that Age Before Beauty?
Yeah, something like that.
Jim Maloney has contributed $20. And Carey, we've read that one already. Oh, so we only missed 3. Good. Thank you guys so much for, again, continuing to support the channel. Mitch needs a root beer.
A root beer.
What?
I'll get a regular beer later.
All right. All right. Well, should we smoke test this thing? What do you think?
I think so. Yeah.
The dog hasn't moved.
So you need this. You need this one.
I will need
The
that.
the braided.
HDMI cable
The braided.
and the power cable. What's up, Lyle? You're just exhausted today. Look at him. What's your problem? Here comes Jimmy. Here comes jealous. All right, make sure the switch is in the off position of the power supply. HDMI, thank you. Put that in. Now, I'm not plugging in the network. I'm not plugging in any flash drives.
Nothing.
It's just the very bare minimums that we need to boot.
Oh.
Keyboard and mouse will be the last thing.
How you doing, Lyle?
That's turned on, that's turned on. I'll plug the wireless dongle. These keyboard and mouse combos you see me using, these are on my Amazon store. They're linked to the Amazon store and a separate link. Both links are in the video notes below the video, along with all the parts for this build. Everything is linked in the video. Sid has contributed $2, and Brian Larson has contributed $2. Says Happy Memorial Day weekend to all.
Thank you, guys.
Sid says, have a Coke on me this weekend. All right, thank you, Sid. Well, let's move over to the right feed, which should be this one right here, if I know what I'm doing. And you want to do the honors on that?
Power supply switch to the on position. On position.
Oh, look, it just kind of fired up. That's not supposed to happen. Huh.
And then it turned off.
Switch off, okay. That's why you don't want to plug in with the switch in the on position. And now go ahead and hit the power switch. Let's see if the light comes on. That's the reset. Go to the other side. Other side. This side right over here.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go.
You pushing it?
Yeah, you push me.
Ooh, I think I know why it's not working.
Oh, just turned on.
All right, there's some weird play in this front panel. I'll have to look at that in a minute.
Okay.
That's not good at all. It seems like it's permanently shoved in.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, it's like this. You hear the clicking of the reset switch?
Yeah.
The power switch isn't clicking.
Okay. We do have our CPU fan spinning.
Yeah, we didn't hook up the rear case fan. So what I'm going to do to address this, do me a favor, hit the switch on the back of the power supply. Let's shut it down.
Let's shut her down. Okay.
Yeah, let's flip back over because this is just
This is interesting.
a manufacturing issue with the case, which happens from time to time, especially when you deal with as many of them as I do.
Let me get the mic closer to you.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the case, the front panel off here, and we'll make sure that it's seated correctly. It might have come loose in shipping, or there could be another problem that I just can't see until I get this front panel off of here. Yeah, see, the switch is fine. It may just not have been seated in there right.
Okay, but yeah, the switch appears to be
Yeah, let's see what happens
fine.
when I put it back on.
You re-put it on here.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Okay.
It must have just shifted funny
In transit.
Yeah, so let's try it again.
Again, we're going to put our power supply to the on position.
Let me plug the USB keyboard and mouse back in.
In.
There we go. And then we'll move it back to that.
Monitor position.
There we go. Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Now again, that fan's not going to spin because we haven't hooked it up yet.
No rear fan yet, and the front fan we do not.
I just want to make sure we get anything at this point. This could take up to 90 seconds to turn on.
Be patient.
And it hasn't helped that we've kind of, when you turned it on, we didn't let it fully initialize the first few times.
Ah, that's what we want to see.
Now, I have BIOS F13 on the flash drive since I've done so many of these. So I have that right here on the flash drive. So I'm going to put that in right now. Shut the machine off. Plug that into any USB port back here. Turn it back on, and then I'll hit
Delete.
I'll hit end. See in the bottom right? It
Ah,
says
end
is
for Q-Flash.
That's just a shortcut to get you there. You could also go in the BIOS and do it.
There, as you can see, guys, there's our F13. Current BIOS is F7, so you don't want to do all the ones in between.
Yeah, so the current BIOS version is F7.
F7 right there.
And we're doing F13.
13. So we highlight it, hit the enter, And now it's upgrading.
All the people make a big deal of we're updating a BIOS.
Yeah.
Drama queen!
Just let it do its thing. I've never had the power in the house, you know, stop in the middle of a BIOS. In the old days, they claim it used to brick the motherboard. Nowadays, not so much. Correct? I mean, if we were to lose power now...
You could still brick the board. It's still possible.
Okay.
Because if you live in an area where power outages occur frequently, or you're having a storm, maybe don't do it during the storm, right?
Right.
Or use an uninterruptible power supply with the battery backup system. Do you hear the system at all?
No.
Yeah, it's
No,
dead.
whisper quiet. And then once this is done, it'll turn on and off at least twice, if not maybe even 3 times, correct? I mean,
I've never really counted.
Counted
I
it?
haven't really figured out.
How many times?
Because I work with so many different models of board.
Right.
And it may depend on the BIOS update itself, or it may depend on the model of board. But yes, let it do as many as it needs to. So just leave it alone until it's done. You'll know when it's done. If you're wondering, is it done? Then it's not done. When you know it's done, then you know it's done. How's that? Let me get some of this dust off of here.
Now, some people in the chat have mentioned that they have done, is it 1808, the new one is 1903.
It's Windows 10 version.
Yeah, Windows 10 version. If you're in the chat and you've done the update, let me know how your update went. Was it smooth and no problem? And
I've had one minor little issue with Windows 10 1903. So my one little issue that I've noticed on Windows 10 1903 is after updating the prior version of Windows 10 at an office, it turned password protected sharing back on. So suddenly they couldn't print to shared printers. But it was no big deal. You go in the control panel, you go to your network options, you go to your advanced sharing settings, and you turn password protection back to off on a peer-to-peer network. And I had to do that to their 10 or 12 computers, however many they had. Every single one of them was reset back. I don't know why. I think they updated some security settings that were critical to Windows 10. Not a big deal. It wasn't a showstopper.
And some people are saying no problem with them updating the build to the 1903, so that's good to know.
BIOS is updated.
BIOS is updated. We can go to the screen that'll say, should say F13 right there.
So I can take this flash drive out since we're done with it. And we can install Windows 10 right now. I don't even have to put the graphics card in or turn the fans up, just to make sure everything we've done has been done well. This is a brand new Windows 10 media with 1903. I haven't tested it to see if it works, so we're about to find out. Into a blue port, please.
Into a blue port. You got it.
All right, here we go. I shouldn't have to touch anything. The only thing this can boot to is that flash drive. The M.2 drive is brand new. It's not partitioned. It's not formatted. It has no operating system. They don't know if you're going to use that for a Mac or a Linux machine or Windows. So the manufacturers of drives always have them unpartitioned, unformatted. So that little circle loading, that's coming off the flash drive. That means my Windows 10 1903 media is working. If you want to make your own, just type in a Windows Media Creation Tool in Google.
And you've got a video.
Yeah, I'll probably update the video at some point for 1903.
3.
So here we go.
And with that NVMe drive installed directly on the motherboard, wait till you see how fast this
What's an
loads.
expensive drive? You can buy a 500 gig
Okay.
SATA drive for $50. This is $160 for 512 gigs.
Okay, we always say we don't have a product key, of course. We want Windows 10 Pro. Next. And then we always want to accept the license, and then it'll say custom. We always want to do custom. There is our NVMe, nothing else. We want to hit next. And you watch how fast
and
this
we make
thing.
sure that the hard drive LED is blinking, the power LED is on, so we hooked up those LEDs correctly.
And you watch how fast this installs. Look at that, 55% in about 15 seconds. Wow, that's fast compared to that is fast compared to the old days. Isn't that
Remember the old days, 2 years ago?
Isn't that right, Sonny? I remember the old days.
Get off my lawn.
Very, yeah. You young whippersnappers don't remember the old days.
I'll throw some trash out while you
okay. While
entertain the troops.
it's doing its thing. I see in the chat a lot of people have mentioned that no problem installing the 1903. That's good because I've got 3 desktops and 3 laptops that I need to do it, but I was hesitant until you guys told me that not a problem whatsoever. Windows restarting, let it do its thing. And just like that, I'd say that up until now, that's been the fastest I've ever seen it install on any machine. Jesse Kirk has contributed $5. Mitch, how is your comedy going? Let's see, last week here in Phoenix, there was a stand-up comedy contest called Funniest Person in the Valley with a Day Job. There were about 14 comics that went up, and they were going to select 3 of the 14 to move on to the semifinals, which is next week, next Tuesday. And I, to my surprise, was one of the 3 that got selected to continue on to the semifinals, which is next Tuesday. So anyone who's in Phoenix, Arizona, next Tuesday is the day after the holiday, May 28th. I will be appearing at a place up in called Desert Ridge, Rick Bronson's House of Comedy, at 7:30 p.m., competing in the semifinals. And each comic gets 5 minutes, and it is judged. There are 4 judges that sit in the back, and I'm excited to perform again next Tuesday, and with any luck, make it into the finals, which would be a week later on Tuesday, June 4th. And the winner of the contest wins $1,000. So that certainly would go a long way for me and my trip to Bangkok and Vietnam. I've decided that I'm leaving on July 21st, I think, is when I'm going, and looking forward to that trip. So, Jesse, thank you for the asking about the stand-up comedy. It was it was exciting, and of the 14 guys, I wound up going on last, and the judges after the contest said very funny.
Well, the
5
judges
minutes
are clearly
have good taste. All right, so
good judges of comedy,
okay,
of good comedy.
So are we going to click I don't have internet right now and go through our...
That's a little different.
Okay, do you want to put a name or you don't?
I got to put something in there.
User, or I mean...
The screen is so small.
John, okay.
Yeah, I think we'll put that in there.
We'll do next. No password. No decline, and then we come to our screen of how many things are. I always wondered, is this 7?
3
7.
on the right and 4
on the left. Decline, accept.
Ooh, it's moving along pretty quick. Don't let Carey steal your material. Too late!
Too late. Somebody wants a joke? Okay. Why didn't the girl mushroom dance with the boy mushroom? Because he wasn't a fun guy.
Fun guy.
Wah, wah.
So you won on that joke, did you?
No.
Tell me again about these judges.
Yeah, I paid him off. Okay.
Were they pigs looking for truffles?
Yeah.
The mushroom joke gets them every time.
Yeah.
Oh, Lyle finally went outside.
Believe it or not, guys, for it being Phoenix, normally this time of year, it'd be quite warm.
100 degrees Fahrenheit.
We've had kind of a wind come in and rain this week, and so that has kind of cooled it off, and it's made this week surprisingly below average, and we'll take it.
Yeah, it's been nice and cool. Let me go grab an Ethernet cable. We'll grab all the updates.
Okay.
A couple updates because it's a brand new install of Windows.
Somebody says, Mitch, when are you going to do another music video? Well, that was recorded in a recording studio of one of my best friends who lives in Los Angeles, and so
one of your best friends?
I suppose next to Carey, and so I suppose the next time I'm in LA for either an acting audition or something like that.
How many best friends do you have?
So.
I was special.
3. 1, 2, 3. Solo says it's too far for me to go. North Phoenix, it's only Desert Ridge. So, you know,
what's north of Desert Ridge? Nothing.
Nothing.
You fall off the edge of the earth.
Cave Creek. So we're going to go to that and the updates and securities. Does it start automatically once you plug the Ethernet in, or
Windows will try and grab updates
automatically?
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot of updates for
updates.
Oh, it's going to put the Nvidia driver. What Nvidia?
We don't even have the card installed.
What's
so
that for?
Does this chip have or have not onboard graphics? Does it have?
Well, yeah, it's built into it's Intel.
Yeah. Okay. So
Intel onboard graphics, part of the Intel CPU.
Okay.
But the looked like the network card said it was NVIDIA, which I never should be. See, Intel Corporation is the display.
Yeah.
Oh.
Does 1903 have the new Edge browser, or are they still kind of working on that?
I think it has a new. I don't know. I don't use Edge, so I wouldn't. Doesn't really matter to me.
Richard says South Florida very hot. Wait till I get to Bangkok, where it'll probably be 95 out and 90% humidity, because this is the low season. So it's all the tourists are gone, but the prices are so incredible this time of year. It may rain a little bit every day, like Florida, but that's fine, because the ocean to swim in and hotel pools to swim in. So
that was the video driver that did that.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, these updates that are failing are probably updates that were also going on in the background.
So that is interesting. Right, it senses right when you plug in an Ethernet cable.
Oh, it knows. Yeah.
And then begins this download, even with you not going and telling it. But look at how fast these updates are going, though.
Lotto Wins contributed $5. He says, Mitch, what do two oceans say to each other
when they first meet? I do not know. So you'll have to give me the punchline.
Nice to see you. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
I'm waiting for a response.
Yeah.
Carey, where is episode 1 of Life 101? Episode 2 was episode 1 in Life 101.
Yeah, he was
Because
just.
that's how life works.
Yeah, he was just doing that to pay.
Episode 1 will come out after episode 2. And you'll learn as you get older, if you haven't already, that that's often the way life works. Sometimes the cart does come before the horse. It's coming out as soon as I have time. But thank you for asking.
And then once we get all the
the oceans don't say anything; they just wave. But
Wah, wah, wah. And then once we get all of our updates are up to date, what did you want to do? Did you want to install a graphics card?
Yeah, we'll put the graphics card in, hook up the 2 fans. I won't do any cable management. We'll just get them hooked up.
And then that'll be
it.
it.
And then we'll run some tests. We'll make sure it runs nice and cool in Prime 95.
Okay.
We'll run Heaven Benchmark. We'll see what the benchmarks are on the 1050.
And then we'll wrap it up because it's a holiday weekend.
That's right.
Got to come a little closer, a little lower.
And then we can continue drinking. I mean, start drinking.
A little lower. And this build, this would be a great build for anyone, not so much a gamer, correct, because of the graphics card.
Well,
but I mean,
look, I mean, on basic, real simple gaming, that card's fine. At 1050, there's plenty of kids that can only afford a 1050 that are gaming just fine with it. You want to play their Fortnite or
on 1080p
or Scrabble or whatever the kids are playing these days.
So it'll be fine with 1080p, not so much 4K, not so much 4K, 720.
It'll do 1080, but maybe not with all the bells and whistles on. You'd need a 1060 to do that, but it'll do 1080. You just may have to crank down some of the other settings. It depends on the game. And then you want to go to a 10. Well, maybe look in the 16 series. 1660 would be a really nice graphics card to put in a system like this, or 2080, max it out.
Yeah.
It's not hurting for RAM. It's got more. It certainly doesn't need 32 gigs of RAM for gaming. 16 gigs is plenty.
Yeah.
Again, this will be used for work, and they need to have multiple monitors hooked up. So because this motherboard only has one built-in video output, they need to hook up a minimum of 2 monitors. So we just went with a cheap graphics card that will give them room to grow up to 4 monitors.
Super Dodge Boy 93 says, Carey and Mitch should do drunk tech support. I would love to, except I'm a very old man, much older than Carey, and I cannot, way older, and I cannot remember the last time I had a snootful. So,
well, but there's the thing. I bet the support answers that you would give would probably be just as accurate, if not more accurate, than the serious support calls that are being answered every day in call centers in India.
So I would love to join both Carey and his sister, and certainly have a cocktail or 3 or 4. But getting loaded, I live quite a ways from where Carey does. So a lot of cops here in Phoenix, and
we'll get you a lift.
There you go, lift. And so we're pretty close to being just about updated. Someone in the chat actually said, the next time Mitch and Carey do a build, have a kid monitor the chat. So I'm like, well, then that would be 3 of us here, and I'm like, 2's company, 3's a crowd. You know what I mean? So
you get a little jealous, there, Mitch? What's the matter?
So we don't need another. We don't need another.
Time to restart. See how fast this restarts.
And then is there always maybe 1 or 2 updates needed? Not always, but you always it's going to do its thing, and then Carey will check it again, and there's always a few more that need to be.
You should see how many Windows 7. We'd be sitting here for about 12 hours doing this.
Yeah.
Reboot, check for updates. Reboot, check for updates. Reboot, check for updates.
Did you say XP? No, Windows 7, yeah. 95?
Windows 7, you're not going to get anything.
Yeah.
I mean, Windows XP, you're not going to get anything. It's gone. That's 20 years old. What do you still have that's 20 years old, electronics-wise?
I have a laptop, my very first laptop, that has Windows XP that still functions.
You use it daily?
No.
You get on the internet with that?
No.
Doing some banking on there?
No.
Paying your bills?
Okay, well now we'll go down to our...
I'll need the Uncle Carey's Windows 10 optimizer is what I need.
Before finishing the updates?
Oh, I don't think there's any more.
Okay, well...
But you're right, I shouldn't assume. Oh, there were some more.
You know, I'm not just a pretty face.
Says you.
Says me.
AC1 Network has contributed €2. Says, have a great build. Thank you. Well, that was quick.
Yep.
Let's check it again. What's going on with this?
Yeah, one more. And you said you have tested your optimizer on this latest build.
Yeah, we're in there again.
Yeah, and it does function. So.
Yeah, I was worried we were going to have to tweak anything, but it looks like everything's still okay.
Very nice. And where can the guys and gals get one of those?
The Windows 10 optimizer, the link is in the video notes below the video. There's nothing here you can't tweak by hand. It just automates it, makes it happen all faster.
Yeah. Time is money, and it's so nice to just boom, and all those little tweaks that you would do by hand are done for you.
What is a duck trying to tell you when it runs up to you quacking frantically? Duck. They don't say duck, duck. They say quack, quack.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what they mean when they tell me I'm a quack. And he's contributed $5. Thank you, Donnie. Neil says his wife is 20 years old. And his wife, I said, what do you use that's tech? So apparently he's got like a Stepford wife. I'm playing and fidgeting with my...
Is this this is a big one, right? The cumulative update for Windows version 1903. That's why it's taking, a little bit longer.
I'm surprised there's any update at all.
Oh, we're up to 82% already.
There we go. Now we have to restart.
I have a question for you. How much, I won't hold you to it, but a 1 terabyte NVMe, give me kind of a price.
If you go with the Intel 660p, you can pick it up under $100. If you go with a Samsung, you're looking about twice that.
For a 1 terabyte NVMe.
Yeah. You can find the ones that aren't the fastest, like the QLC NVMe, which runs about 2,000 megabytes on the reads and writes, for under $100. And if you want the fastest, like the Samsung 970 Pro, about 200 and change.
And 500 gigabytes is fine, but for some reason, I just feel more comfortable having a 1 terabyte.
I just ordered a 2 terabyte Intel 660p NVMe drive for $183 on Newegg. It was a coupon.
What build is that going into?
That's going to go into a stick like this. But this only holds SATA.
Okay.
I got another stick that does NVMe, and I want it to be 2 terabytes so I can use it for my backup. So I hope my backups will happen faster. But NVMe drives don't work in these Silverstone enclosures. These M2. There's an M2 drive in there.
Should we check for updates one final time?
Absolutely. Yeah, we want to keep doing it until it says there's no more.
And there you go.
Finally. That was shocking. I had so many updates on a brand new build of Windows. I wonder if they've got a newer build available yet.
Now Uncle Carey's optimizer. There we go. And you watch how great this is.
Let's see. Let's make it bigger so I can see what we're doing here. We're going to grab Crystal Disk Mark over here. And we'll grab the Samsung Magician software. And we'll grab hardware monitor and the Heaven benchmark. And then Uncle Carey's Windows 10 Optimizer. So we do that one first. Just hit apply. All this is normal. These access denied, that's all normal. Everything's working like it's supposed to. And then it'll tell us it wants to restart here. Yeah, here we go. Now let's see how long the boot up takes. You ready?
Yep.
And now.
1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000, 6 1000, 7 1000, 8 1000. 8 seconds. 9 if you want to go right to the desktop. And you recommend installing this for why?
This is going to maintain the drive, make sure we have the latest firmware, make sure that it's working optimally. So this tells us, for example, it confirms
That we have the latest.
firmware. We're using PCIe Gen 3x4, which is the mode, is the fastest mode currently, as of the date we're making this video. Now it's using the Microsoft NVMe driver, and we can change that. It also confirms that trim status is enabled. That's the equivalent of a defrag. It's different than a defrag, but it's what keeps your solid state drive healthy and operating quickly. Samsung provides their own NVMe driver, so we're going to put that in right now. And that will require a reboot to take effect, because it's the main communication driver with the hard drive or the solid state drive. And it can't communicate with the solid state drive to replace the communication tool. It has to reboot, changes it just before the reboot, and then starts up with the new communication tool between the drive and the motherboard. It can communicate, between the drive and the operating system. It can communicate more efficiently. So now when I bring up that Samsung tool, which will load here in just a minute down here in the corner, it should say we're running the Samsung NVMe driver. I don't like that little yellow thing. Let's just dismiss these two things. Now we can bring up Samsung. Now it's using the Samsung NVMe driver. And we can check and make sure we've got the latest version of Samsung Magician. We're running 5.3.0. The latest version is 5.3.1. So let's update it. I'll have to update my little flash drive with that.
Okay.
I'll do that offline.
Now, is there anything in the BIOS that you would recommend checking, like it would default to XMP and all that good stuff?
No, it won't default to XMP. No. If you want to turn XMP on, but I don't recommend you do that until you verify your new build is working correctly.
Okay.
Because then if it starts having problems afterwards, you'll know that something's not compatible with that RAM and that board with XMP on. I've seen that happen. Don't try and do too much at once. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Take small steps, make sure everything's working correctly. So when one change causes a problem versus 15 changes cause a problem, you know where to look to solve it very quickly. This is taking a little longer than I thought it would. It's just downloading the new 5.3.1, which is just a 0.1 difference from 5.3.0 to 5.3.1. I'm sure it's not anything major, but I always like to have the latest and greatest. The Windows 10 optimizer is not free, but you can do all the things the optimizer does by hand if you don't want to pay for it. You can do it by hand and it doesn't cost you anything. It's taking way too long. It's not, something's not right.
Huh.
Was there a hidden box somewhere I'm not seeing? What's going on? Didn't I dismiss that once already? Failed to update. So what I'll do is I'll just go to Samsung and download it from there.
Okay.
I'll just type in
Samsung Magician.
you type in samsung.com/Samsung SSD. Tools and software. Magician, it should be 531. Save it. See, that's how quick it should be.
Yeah, boom. Yeah.
It will open. Let's close that. Double click on it. This is all it was. That's all the update button did for us, was this part. Click on yes, English. You want to overwrite the previous installation? Yes, I do. Let's close that.
We'll see how fast this goes.
I can delete this because I'm done with it. Here we go. Now we've got version 531. So now what does that mean on performance? Let's run Crystal Disk Mark and check it.
What do you think you're gonna?
I think we're going to see about 3,700.
Really?
Yeah, which would be about as the limitation will be on the chipset at that point. You're maxing out at that point you're maxing out the PCIe bus. So 3544, we're right up there.
Have you got a water at the bottom?
Yes.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Well, you call that pretty close.
Yeah, and the writes will be about 1,000. I think 1,000 less than that. Probably be around 2,800 to 3,000 on the writes, I'm gonna guess.
Cheers. Mm. Skull. Mm.
It's nice and cold. Donnie says the duck says I'm on Quack. That's much funnier.
Okay.
James Goodrum has stopped in and said hello. Hi, James. After this test, we'll power it down. We'll put the graphics card in.
And then...
Oh, actually, you know what? Before I power it down, I'll go ahead and I'll put the Heaven benchmark, get that installed.
Right.
I'll do that now,
Right.
since we're already up and running. It only takes a second. Or a minute, 2 minutes.
Okay.
The numbers on this drive are very impressive. But you're looking at a $150 drive. You can buy the same capacity drive for $50 that'll run at 15% of that speed. It's about 500 megabytes. What would that be? More than 15%.
You know, and
But
beyond...
it'll run about
yeah.
550, 560.
And be honest, I mean, in terms of overall speed of your work...
Yeah, you're not going to type any faster. Your internet's not going to be any faster.
Yeah, so 50...
If you're downloading big files and you have fast internet, your fast internet may be slowed down by a mechanical drive. By changing that mechanical drive out to an SSD, you can see your download speed increase. If your download speed's that high.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that write speed.
Yeah, 2,300. That's really good. There's John. He says, Carey, I'm traveling from New York to Providence. I couldn't join you earlier. I hope this is my computer. It is your computer.
Is this
Hence the
John's
name
computer?
John. Remember when I typed John in? Yeah. John's second one he's ordered.
Ah.
That's how you know you have a happy customer when they come back for more abuse.
Yeah.
I mean, for a great deal.
Well, and look at these speeds. Just
yeah, who wouldn't want that?
Fabulous.
Could you slow my computer down? Thanks for joining us, John. Yeah, those are good numbers. I'll be happy with those.
While we're waiting, has anybody in the chat seen the new John Wick
I saw it.
movie? I saw it too.
Oh, it's good. If you're somebody who appreciates the loyalty,
action,
and the intelligence of a dog, you've got to see John Wick 3. Those dogs were so impressive.
And it was wonderful to see,
you didn't even know Jimmy could act, did you?
Yeah, Halle Berry in an action.
Oh, and Angelica Houston.
Oh.
And the Master Chef guy. Isn't he that Master Chef guy, the Asian guy? He's an actor, and he also does like Iron Chef.
Right.
Isn't he Iron Chef?
I'm not sure whether that's...
I think it's the Iron Chef guy. I love that guy.
Documentation.
Yeah, and EVGA actually gives us proper documentation.
That will go in the box, our motherboard box. Here's our beautiful Go Faster sticker.
It's metal.
Ooh, it's metal. I will take that. I will take the box.
I don't know, I should take the box.
Oh, okay.
Take the card. I think that's all that's in the box. The rest of the box is empty. Did I scare you, Jimmy?
Oh, Jim.
Oh, buddy. My poor guy. Not exactly John Wick material here, boy. Yeah, John Wick was fantastic. And I love how it ended, because you know there's got to be another John Wick.
Yeah.
There's got to be.
Okay.
All right, so
what is you said you wanted to load Heaven first, and then we'll put the graphics card in.
Yeah. So those are our final numbers, which are really good. And you can download the software at Crystal Disk Mark or Crystal Disk Software, whatever it's called.
For free.
Yeah, it's free. Just download the portable version, which is the zip file version. And let's see, Heaven benchmark. Got to put these redistributables on there.
And you got to load two things for that?
Yeah,
I mean,
they can't distribute them because it's Microsoft's property, but they give you links to grab them. They're Visual C++, 32-bit and 64-bit decompilers. See how fast everything loads in here? So we're done with Crystal Disk Mark. Let's get that out of here so I don't confuse myself. Oh, I need Prime 95. I didn't copy it, did I?
No.
I'm done with the Samsung Magician stuff. Do you know what I could do? I can go ahead and take that download of Samsung Magician and update right now. Oh, it's a zip file. Let's extract it. Now I'll have the latest version on my flash drive.
Okay.
And what else was I doing?
Prime 95 and Heaven
It's on the
benchmark.
flash drive. Let's go to Prime 95 on there, which is right here. I always want to run 26.6, not the latest Prime 95, unless you change the default test settings. You're going to have heat issues, I guarantee it, no matter what cooler you have on an 8700 or above CPU. And I've documented all that. In prior videos. That looks pretty.
Okay.
So now we can shut it down. It should shut down quick, and it did. We'll go back to the main camera here so you can see what we're doing. First and foremost, we're going to power off and unplug. Never work on a computer that's plugged in. You can leave that box if it's fine. So I'm just going to slap this rear fan on here real quick.
Should we go to the other cam, or it doesn't matter?
No, this is so dark anyway. I don't think people are going to be able to see very well.
Right.
And
I'll get you a zip tie.
no, I'm not going to zip tie it right now. I just want to find a quick place to put this, which is going to be in that upper corner, which means I'm going to have to grab those 4 steps. I'll have to do it twice, because I'll have to take it back off later for cable management. In fact, normally what I do with this board and this case is I actually take the fan off, cable it real short, because the distance it's got to run is just right below that 8-pin CPU power connector.
You need a light?
I don't know. Aziz, light. Yeah, I can't see anything. It's like as soon as I get over it, I can't see it. Oh, that's helpful. Look at what a difference the light made, huh? Right on. Perfect. And let me get my flashlight off of there. And then we'll just hook up this front fan.
Do you need a light for that one, probably?
Oh, no.
No. Well.
You can go ahead and take the video card out of this package. Just removing the wire tie off of this cable from the fan. And I'm just going to run it down here. And we'll just bring that through.
This bag is sealed. That's kind of a first for me. Never seen that. Nothing like a new graphics card. Beautiful.
All right, so here's the very diminutive EVGA 250 SC. You'll see it says remove protective film before use, and that's referring to this plastic that's all over it here. And then there's a little cover. Take that off. There it is. And that's just going to go right here. I don't really have any concern about shipping this with the graphics card installed because it's such a small, light graphics card. There is some concern when shipping a big, heavy graphics card, you know, that it's going to damage the system if it comes loose in shipping. This doesn't take power. Look at that.
It can run off of its...
It's low power. It runs right off the PCI bus power.
Huh. That's a first for me.
It's important to know if you're running a small rig and you need something portable and you don't have a big power supply, especially small form factor power supplies, generally don't have the output, you know, of a desktop power supply, an ATX style. But this is not going in for some reason. There it goes.
Now we secure it with the 1 or 2 screws? Two
screws.
Okay.
Oh, this is going to power just 3 graphics cards. I thought it would do 4. It's going to do 3. It's got a DVI, HDMI, and display port. Okay. 1 of each. So it'll power up. You should be able to use all 3 of them simultaneously if you need to. I was thinking I'd add 4, customer only needs 2. And they'll still be able to upgrade to a 3rd one.
We'll put these in.
Now we're going to remove the HDMI cable from the motherboard video, or the CPU video, onto the discrete graphics video. A lot of people forget to do that. And they wonder why the performance isn't very good.
Trash?
Yeah, would you hit the power button for me now real quick?
Coming up.
We'll flip over to the other source.
Running.
Let's see what happens. Oh, my fan's not turning. I must not. Oh, I see. I've got this cable jammed in there. Okay, front fan's turning, rear fan is turning.
And CPU fan, we got a... There you go.
Took a while to start up. And we'll have to load the Nvidia driver.
That was weird. The rear case fan stopped and then started.
We're going to give this a minute. It's going to auto-load a driver here. I've got the, I should have the latest driver on my utilities flash drive. Let's just load it from there. See all the icons look bigger now?
Yeah.
I'll just load that right off the flash drive. What did I do with that bottle of water I had?
This one's mine.
Yeah, that one's yours. What did I do with mine?
You finished yours. Huh?
No, when I finished one, I started another one I had. What did I do with it? Did I put it back in the refrigerator? Yeah, I did. Keeping it cold. It's not cold. Get it in there when it's cold.
And that's being powered. The graphics card is being powered by the
power in the bus.
In the bus.
Mm-hmm. So what's happening is Microsoft is automatically downloading the NVIDIA driver, and it says you can't install the video driver while the video driver is being installed.
Mm-hmm.
So what we can do is we can just go to Windows Update here. We can take a look at where we're at on that. Apparently it already did it because now the icons are smaller. It must have did it when my back was turned.
Yeah.
Let's try it again.
That quick.
Just copy the driver off so it'll happen a little quicker. Sharon's telling me I may not have the latest NVIDIA driver, which doesn't surprise me. That's like, you go to bed, you wake up, there's another NVIDIA driver. See if that works any better this time.
Ought to load pretty fast. Yeah.
That's a big driver. It's almost 500 megs.
Oh, okay.
That's a single largest driver I've ever seen in my life. I mean, half a gig for a video driver.
Now, once we get the driver installed, do you typically like to run Prime 95 first and then run Heaven, or it doesn't really matter?
Doesn't really matter. Because Prime 95 isn't going to work the graphics card, and the Heaven benchmark isn't going to work the CPU. So it doesn't matter what order you do it in. There we go. Now the driver's getting installed.
Ooh, and the icons are smaller.
.430.64 is the newest. I can do that while we're waiting. Yeah, May 9th. 430.64. What version did I have on the flash drive? Yeah, it installed right that time. That's good. Reject that.
Yeah, you got 430.64.
Oh, that is the one I have.
Yeah.
All right, so that I do have the latest version. I was on top of it. People keep making me self-doubt, see? Let's close that. Let's close that. And then let's run the Heaven benchmark, see what it'll do. Let's dump you and I so we can see that whole screen. Hit F9, and the benchmark begins.
Is there a graphics card in about the $250 to $300 range that you might might recommend?
Yeah, 1660. The 1660 is what you'd want. Should be right around $280 to $300.
Good value for money?
Yes.
Yeah. Because when you start going over 300 for a graphics card, you kind of go...
That's hardcore.
Yeah, I mean, to me the sweet spot, yeah, between about 250 and 300, you get something real nice. I mean, I'm not doing 4K, video editing by any means, so, and I don't game.
I mean, a 1050 is pretty decent. I mean,
Yeah.
looks fine to me.
Me, sharp.
It's decent frames per second on there. You get these snobs.
You know, want to spend
sneer at you.
Want to spend
1050.
Yeah. Want to spend $500 on a car.
That's the kind of person that goes, "Oh, you drive a Porsche 928? It's not a 911."
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like people like that. I hate elitists. I really hate elitists.
And I get, you know, gamers want every frame.
It doesn't make them a better gamer.
Gamer, though. I get that, but I'm like, that's a lot of money for a graphics
I got
card.
real nice pots and pans, but it doesn't make me a better chef.
Amen to that.
Hey. How dare you? 1660 Ti is under 300. I was thinking if it was the Ti or not. Yeah, you want the Ti version. The Ti is sort of the
under 300.
Think of it as the turbo version.
Is that 3 gigabytes only or 6? What is that? You know, graphics card either have 3 or 6.
Yeah,
probably 3 at that price point, I would imagine. When you start getting into 6.
We'll see what people in the chat say. We'll see what they tell you. They'll know.
Yeah.
It's, some cards they offer both 3 or 6. The Ti, I would imagine if it's a Ti, it's got to be 6, but I don't know. Is a 1660 Ti cheaper than a 1080? Yeah, because it doesn't perform as good as a 1080. Performs more like a 1070.
Yeah, but what's a 1080 go for these days? I mean,
$600.
oh, yeah, it's just.
And a Ti is
Patrick says it's 6 gig on the 1060. Yeah, yeah.
It would be a shame to call it a Ti with only 3 gigs.
So under 300. Good to know.
Just like pennies.
Oh, $299. Okay. Yeah. But that's good. You know, that's to me kind of a sweet spot for me is 300.
They could have specials. Knew it could have a deal or something.
Okay, here we go.
So there's our final numbers with the 1050. Okay.
We gonna prime 95 it?
Yes, we are.
Put our Mugen to the max. Try to say that fast 3 times. All right, Mugen to the max.
Prime 95. Let's run the hardware monitor so we can get our current temps up. And we'll bring back the camera and start Prime 95 over here. And I'm going to go grab my timer. Here we go. So watch these cores.
Right there.
Let's close that.
Pushing all the. How many cores have we got on this chip?
12. 6 cores and 6 hyperthreads.
Threads, all being pushed now at 100%.
Yeah, it's hit 4.7 on one of them. It's not there now, but that's where it hit.
Okay.
It's running about 4.3 right now on the speed.
And the machine's still dead quiet.
Yeah, the fan you're hearing crank up is on the AMD. That's your streaming computer.
Yeah. This one, I'm standing. Look, I'm standing right next to with the mic.
It's nothing.
Just dead quiet.
So you got to remember the power supply fan is running. CPU fan is running. Not CPU fan. The GPU fan is running. The CPU fan better be running. And the front and rear case fans. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fans running. You can't hear a single fan. Don't know why the graphics card fan is running though. But it is running. Let's see the flashlight. Make sure it's not tricking my eye. Oh yeah, it's definitely spinning.
No, it's spinning, yeah.
It's spinning slow. It is spinning.
But it's quiet.
Dead quiet. That's church mouse quiet.
What do you run this for, 15?
Yeah. And I started a little late, so we get a little extra time in there.
And you never want the temps to go above 85, you say?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this this row right here on the right, these are our maximum temps. And all the way on the other side, these are our current temps. So maximum, we've hit 59 so far, which is 138 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're flat out 100% on all the cores, which is an unlikely workload that any end user would push a computer at 100% on every single core for a full 15 minutes. It's just highly unlikely. So if it passes this without ever exceeding 85 as a maximum temp on any of those cores, within 15 minutes, anything beyond 15 minutes is a ridiculous test. Because 15 minutes in and of itself is a ridiculous test. It's over and above what any reasonable usage would be of the computer, or even reasonable extreme usage. At that point, it becomes unreasonable. And maybe if somebody's overclocking or doing something like that, or pushing it beyond its engineering design specifications, then you might run into some problems there. But we'll just keep an eye on it. And Arnold says the 1080 Ti was 1,225 Canadian dollars last year. It's over 2,000 now. Yeah. Well, Nvidia really wants to push the 16 series because it's basically the newer, smaller nanometer chip design, and they basically just disable the ray tracing features on it, which you don't really need yet. So the 16 series is what I look at, not the 20. No NVIDIA cards that start with 20 and no NVIDIA cards that start with 10, other than the 1050 or 1060 if you're looking for something budget. Instead of a 1070 or 1080, look at the 1660 Ti. Jesse Kirk has contributed again, $10. He says, thank you, Jets. Great stream. Thank you for your time. Definitely enjoyed this build. Great job on the camera. Mitch, keep up the awesome work. Best wishes to you both. Have a great weekend. Isn't that a nice guy?
Thank you, Jesse.
Yeah, Jesse, thanks. Right on, Jesse.
So what, Carey, for next week? You got any builds? I mean, again, Monday is a holiday. I get that. I wouldn't expect anyone to stream, or even you. I mean, enjoy the 3-day weekend. But do you have any upcoming builds, or what's coming up that you can mention?
At this point, I can't say anything.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure what's going to happen. A couple of computers that I have here that for paying customers, I have to go and deliver one. So I obviously can't be here and film while I'm over at a customer's, moving their data over and doing all that. I've got another customer I've got to deliver a computer to that I have to reinstall Windows on. I'm not going to film that. It's just to reinstall the Windows. I've got another machine that I've got to mount a hard drive in and give it back to the customer. So there's nothing to film there. I've got, probably maybe a computer giveaway next week. Maybe even on Memorial Day. Maybe, I don't know. I think I'm going over Subaru Mike's on Memorial Day. He's going to fire up the barbecue grill.
Nice.
I think. Even that, I don't have confirmation on yet.
But maybe a giveaway next week. Maybe.
I just thought it would be nice to do it on Memorial Day, but I may not be home. And Tuesday, I'll be delivering that computer. So that probably may push me to Wednesday. Yeah. Might be a short week tomorrow. Might be a short week tomorrow. Might be a short week next week. Arnold Schmidt says, thanks to both of you. Thank you, Arnold.
Tell us a quick joke, Mitch. I those kind of jokes, setup and punchline, I don't really...
There was a improv show I went to, and they said, we do this routine where we say 185 something walk into a bar. So you in the audience, what do you say? And someone said penguins, and he said, okay. And they take turns going, okay, 185, they'd say anything, piano, 185 pianos walk into a bar. I don't know what 185 has to do with anything because it never really plays into the joke. But this guy, one of the improv guys, was so quick-witted, it even took me a minute to get what he said. He said, 185 penguins walk into a bar. And the penguin says to the bartender, I like more gin free, man. You see, Morgan Freeman narrated the Penguins movie.
Right.
And for him to come up with that right as an instant, no warning, just go. That was pretty deep.
Yeah.
I was Wow.
That's the wonderfulness of improv, boy, when it's clicking.
You get these moments that are spontaneous that'll never be duplicated or replicated.
Kenny wants to know, is the new build, the 1903, better than the 1809?
I find my office computer is more responsive. It feels like things are snapping on faster. Like I hit the browser, it feels like it's there much, much faster. I can't explain why. I haven't read anything about that. But in general, it's about security.
Does it look the same? I've heard some people a little different.
But other than the wallpaper, it pretty much looks the same. And people running the older versions of Windows 10, those support for like Windows 1703. That ends next year. I think it ends next year. It's only a 2-year support cycle. It's not 10 years like Windows 7. And they're going to force you into 1903. And you better go there or get off the internet or find Linux or Mac if you don't like it. Because this is the world of Windows. This is how it works. Always has to be updated and secured because it's the biggest target and therefore the one that gets attacked the most. The President of the United States will always be the one who gets attacked the most. The Prime Minister of Great Britain will be the one who gets the most attack. The person on top is the one that will be the one who suffers the most attacks, both verbal attacks and physical attacks. And it's because of the number of people, the sheer number of people around the world running Windows, there has to be constant updates because there are constant clever ways of working through exploits in Microsoft Windows and Adobe products and Intel and AMD CPUs, BIOSes. You just got to stay on top of it. The internet's evolving very, very quickly.
Now look at our temps. We're at about 8 minutes.
Look like we're just in the 60s there. Still low, very low. 62? Is that what I'm seeing?
Whisper quiet.
And how many minutes?
About 8.
So we're more than halfway through our test.
Whisper quiet still. I thought it would ramp up.
23 degrees headroom. That's incredible.
Yeah. With an air cooler, guys and gals.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
And inexpensive.
Air cooler.
It's more expensive than the Hyper 212 Evo, but much easier to install, and it's a bigger radiator.
Now, would you say by installing a second fan, you're only going to drop these temps 2 degrees, or so?
It's hard to say.
It wouldn't be 5 or something.
It's possible. I wouldn't know until I tried it. I really don't know, and I don't care.
Right.
It's not going to run any better at 62
with these temps,
than at 65 or 70 or 75. If that CPU was 75 right now, still wouldn't want to put another fan on it. It's still within its operational parameters.
Yeah.
So there's no benefit to it. You'll see a lower number, but you're not going to get any extended life out of it. The CPU will last like 75, 80 years. So even if you were to knock 20 years off of it, it's still going to outlive its usefulness by 50 years.
And remember, folks, June's right around the corner. You got 6 months left. If you're on Windows 7, you got 6 months left till
January.
Till January. So now's the time to start thinking about switching over.
Marty's just contributed $1. Thank you to Marty for supporting the channel.
Marty, what's the weather in Florida like right now?
And Marty just contributed $10. Thank you again, Marty. Appreciate that very much. Will Microsoft eliminate the need for additional antivirus software? Viruses aren't your only concern. When you deal with exploits within the OS or the software you install, your antivirus can only do so much. So you definitely need antivirus or certainly anti-malware product. And then you've got firewalls and routers, software and hardware firewalls. Updates to things like Adobe products, Quicken products, Intuit products, I should say, Windows products, Intel and AMD products, driver updates. It's not like you can just put on antivirus and say, I'm protected from all the different ways of attacks. And so long as you want to click on a link that takes you to a fake site that looks like your bank that you voluntarily put your account number and password in, or you just manually handed it over to the bad guys, the best security is you. And so by that, I mean you keep your system updated and patched at all times. It's not just a matter of not clicking on certain links. It's a matter of not having bad software on your system that can invite that. And how would you know until after it happens? How are we on time?
11 minutes.
11 minutes. It's still 62 degrees centigrade is the hottest it's getting. Isn't that crazy?
I was just laughing at Sharon's joke.
There was a young lady called Perkins who was very fond of small gherkins. One day at tea, she ate 43 and pickled her internal workings.
That's good.
There's a label on a cable at the table at the house that says the network is connected to the button on your mouse. Never mind.
Okay.
South Florida is sunny and 82, says the bicycle lady.
Ah. And our overall temps are, is that kind of 57, 56, 57 sunny?
Current,
right?
yeah, 58. Marty says he is indoors. He had to look outside. It's in the 90s in Florida.
Okay.
A little warm over there. A little after 12 minutes, just a couple minutes left. It was from Blake 7. Well, that's an old series.
Mm.
You see that fan cranking up on that AMD system? That's why I want to get rid of that. Bring the Nuka-Cola system out here and configure it as the streamer.
I mean, you'll keep this one.
I don't know. No, I'll sell it. I'll sell it. Once I pull the capture cards out of it, it's just a regular computer.
Ah.
And I'm just not liking these AMDs. They're not cutting it for me. Might be fine for a budget gamer or someone who's just a gamer, but for getting work done, it's just not cutting it for me. Now, I suppose I could take the stock cooler off and replace it with the Mugen.
Do you have an i9 in the Nuka or no? Or just an
No,
i7?
but I do have an i9. Have you seen the box?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen one in person?
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So
They spend a lot of money on the packaging that we're paying for that we're going to throw away.
But for a streamer, an i7 would be more than fine, right? I mean,
yeah, unless you're gaming and streaming at the same time. Yeah, an i5 would do it fine. But I'm also video editing on there, so I need a good graphics card and I need a good, strong CPU on there so I can video edit.
Right.
You know that project we started in October?
Yeah.
Yeah, still editing that.
I'd say that's just about, we started a little late, so that's getting pretty close.
We'll let it run to 15.
15. And then you show them, via the mouse to watch those temps. Boy, when you stop that prime 95.
Yeah, how quickly it cools down. But it's not even that hot.
Right,
that
today.
Thing is just solid. And that's one of the reasons I go with that 8700K versus the 9700K. That temperature difference is major, but this performance difference for the way this computer is going to be used, the end user's never going to see it.
Is there a big jump in price between the two?
Yeah, there's a significant price difference as well. Then we have to go to like a 390 chipset instead of the 370, which costs more on the board. So everything gets more expensive and it runs hotter. All right, 10 seconds left on the test. As soon as I grab the right mouse. There it is. We'll move that over. Let's hit stop. Watch that, this left side. Watch these temps when I stop.
Okay.
Watch these temps when I stop. Test. Stop. Okay. That's on 20 degrees.
In literally 2 seconds, yeah.
And it brings it right back down. Maximum we hit was 66. So we have a 19-degree
buffer
headroom.
Yeah.
And even at 85, we have buffer.
Yeah.
But that's where I start getting worried.
It's a heck of a machine. Whisper quiet.
It's just the right.
Great. Yeah.
It's just a magical recipe of parts right there. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And the video card and power supply you can change out to whatever you want. Just, in fact, you can even change out the NVMe drive to something a little more affordable or larger capacity. And you can even cut the RAM in half. You know, go to 16 gigs instead of 32. Let's go ahead and shut this down. Okay. Well, what do you think? Job well done?
I think it's.
I think you did good, Mitch. You make a good cameraman.
Did you turn
the camera anytime?
Did you turn it off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fans running?
No. I didn't see you turn it off. That's.
Yeah, turn it off on screen.
Oh, on screen. Okay.
Just connect these cables.
No.
There it is.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I just have some cable management to do, and it'll be ready to ship off to the customer. Pretty minor cable management here. I'm going to tie that off to the side. I'll wrap these up. I'll tie these together. It's pretty mundane, really.
Nice build.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next time, I need to remember to put this on last.
Right.
Save me all that hassle of getting that 8-pin CPU connector on.
Yeah, I would love to see you do it. Mount the board in the case, then do your cable, then mount the Mugen in there.
I'm sure I'll have other opportunities.
Yeah, be interesting.
This catches me up on all the current builds I've got going on. Okay. Everything else right now is repairs or deliveries of previous builds. Got a couple things I need to ship still, and I'll probably wait till Tuesday. There's no point in shipping it today. It'll just sit for 3 days.
Yeah.
But but right now there are no other builds in the pipeline, which is good because I've got some traveling coming up, and I don't want to have to deal with that till I get back.
Okay.
And the first week of June is going to be pretty busy here. But hopefully I'll have some fresh new content when I get back as well.
Okay.
At least traveling to Denver, I hope to do next month or July. And then traveling to Michigan in September for the TechCon Unplugged Expo, September 20th through the 22nd. And traveling to Miami for the Acronis Cybersecurity Conference in October. So I guess I'm going nowhere in August? Well, I'll have to do something about that.
Yeah.
Steve Sabaha says, welcome back, Mitch. Jesse Kirk says, great job, Mitch. Can't wait for you two on the next stream. Thank you both again. Great stream.
We try, or at least I try.
Well, thanks you guys for watching.
Yeah.
Paul Newman says, I'm looking forward to that 9900K build. I'm going to bring out that CPU. I want to show it to you.
Yeah.
I know you've seen one, but I want to show it to you again. These are some of the parts I'll be building with, just to give you a little trailer of what's to come. So it's got to be a micro ATX board going with a Gigabyte Z370M gaming.
That's a micro? Yeah, it's a micro.
That's that 1660 Ti we were talking about. I got that from MSI because it was like $279, I think.
Nice.
Yeah. And then, of course, everybody's got to give you these stupid bags. This is a huge Dungeons and Dragons die.
Look at that. Isn't she a beauty? Woohoo!
How much do you think that packaging cost? 20 bucks?
I'm going to guess, yeah, at least 20 to 25.
Think they could take 20 bucks off the price of the processor if they just gave it to me in a cardboard box like the rest of the CPUs?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do with that after I take it out?
I don't know.
It's just going to wind up in the landfill.
Yeah, which is disappointing.
Stupid.
But how many threads, how many cores? Any idea?
I'm sure we could read it.
Let's see if the viewers know.
What does that say? Can't seem to figure out.
Yeah, that is going to make a sweet build. Phew.
Doesn't tell me how many cores it has.
No. 1151.
20 cores.
20. Whew.
Thank you to Solo for that. So I guess it's 10 cores with 10 hyperthreads. But you can see the box inside. That's what they should have sold me, is what's inside of it. They can keep the rest of this. I don't need that. Here, let me put this in your sack.
Yeah.
Santa. So that was expensive.
Yeah.
So those, then there's RAM and an M.2 drive and everything for that. And I'm just waiting on a cooling decision because that's a hard chip to cool.
Now, that's something that you're going to mail that bill to a customer?
No, that's going to go in the Xenos case.
Ah,
That's,
yeah.
That's been sitting for years, waiting for the right
The blue, yeah.
parts that were good enough to go in it.
Right.
And I think we're there.
Yeah.
Just have to, waiting on the creator, John Xenos, to give me a, like an adapter plate.
Okay.
That can make room for a radiator to get sandwiched in between the top.
Okay.
Because that whole case comes apart.
Right.
So if I take the top off and I can sandwich this piece in, you'd never even know it was there. And the radiator can go in there and it'll keep that nice and cool.
Okay. Well, I don't leave until July 20th.
Well, I definitely want you as a cameraman for that project.
Yeah, because people are really going to, I don't even want to call it a frame, it's just a hell of it's such a unique case that.
$500 CPU too much. I think it was more than 500.
Huh.
I think it was more. The Threadripper was.
Paul says only 8 cores, 16 threads.
I'm not sure now. Let me look it up.
Yeah.
It's like when you have one watch, you know what time it is, but when you have more than one watch, you're never quite sure. Where's my mouse? i9. Let's just go to Amazon first and see what the price is on that today. Oops. Eight cores. So it'll be 8 cores with 16 threads. Or 8. It's $485. All right. That's a pretty good price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, you could
So
game.
Solo gave me wrong information.
You could game, video edit.
You can game with an i5.
Yeah.
Yeah, $485 is a good price.
And then, do you have room for 16 or only 32 gig of RAM in there? Because it's like you said with the motherboard.
Put two 16s in
Yeah,
there.
2 16s. Yeah.
Does it have 4 memory sockets or 2? I think is what you're asking.
Yeah, I think only 2 on that size.
It's got 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See the camera. Yeah, there's 4
slots. Yeah.
Yeah. I just need to get a good cooling solution in there because that Xenos case is so small and tight. There's not any cable management in there. There's no room for it.
Right.
So you got to just kind of minimize your cables as best you can. You can't run it behind the motherboard tray. There's just nothing back there. It's literally the back panel is the motherboard tray.
Yeah.
That's how they keep the case so narrow. All right, guys. Well, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that'll wrap it up.
Everyone, do it for today.
Everyone, you have a wonderful holiday weekend.
Or have a wonderful weekend if you don't have a holiday.
Yeah.
People are watching all over the world. And again, all case badges did go out or will have gone out by today. So if you don't receive a case badge by the end of next week and you were expecting one, drop me a line so I can trace back your payment, make sure that, somebody's not yanking my chain. And we'll get one out to you right away. Yeah. And if you want to order a case badge, go to careyholzman.com. They're available for sale there, as well as the bumper stickers came back in. The backup or shut up. Only you can prevent data loss. And thank you to Stephen Boker for creating those vinyls.
And thank you for all the people that contributors today.
Yes, let's go through those names real quick. Everybody who's contributed today, a shout out. Madi Yoel, Jesse Kirk, Gerald Guston, Donnie Seeger, ACO Network, Lotto Win, Tom Jackson, Brian Larson, The Sims channel, Thomas Keats, Scott M, Jim Maloney, D. Cabral, Rick Hubbard, Tom Van Ballen, Thomas Beckenstow, an anonymous person, Stephen Anderson, Greg Bentow, Michael Collis, Alan Kirshner, Thomas M, Past Me, Henrik Anderson, Chester Hughes, Roger Hall, Russ Martin, and Colin Hunt. And in there, I think I see Jesse Kirk's name like 5 times today. So thank you so much for your continued generosity, Jesse. And of course, to all of you, of course, thank you so much. You guys are the ones that make this all possible. Because the YouTube money ain't, I do like 1 video a week maybe with YouTube money. That's all I can afford to do. And Winston from Canada just contributed $2 Canadian.
Right under the wire. Thank you, Winston.
And to all my friends in blue, thank you for keeping it civil in the chat. Really didn't see anybody causing any trouble today. Saw one person being an elitist snob. I just got rid of them. But, you know, not really trolling, just sort of sticking their nose in the iron.
Yep.
I don't need that. All right. Well, everybody enjoy your weekend. Happy Friday.
Yeah. And
thanks for your help, Mitch.
You're welcome. And if you can't be safe, be good. That's pretty good.
No, if you can't be good.
If you can't be good, be safe.
Be safe.
Yeah. I'm dyslexic. Am I? I don't know.
Dyslexic, am I?
Yeah. Am I?
Thank you guys so much. We'll see you all again very, very soon.
Bye for now.
Until then.
Until then.
Until then what?
Then until, is that my dyslexia?
I'm going to stand here until you get it right.
Yeah. Until then, see you next time.
No, that's not how it goes.
Oh, okay. Until then, I'll see you very, very soon. Oh, until then, bye for now.
Give him a little wink.
No, my standard peace out.
Can I do that without raising my lip?
Yeah.
I'll show you how it's done.
Okay.
Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll see you. We'll look forward. We'll look forward to seeing you.
Oh, yeah.
Is it past your bedtime?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They wanted me to give the dogs cookies before we signed out.
They're too mellow. We'll do it another time.
Hold on. They want me to give the dogs cookies.
Cookies.
Who wants a cookie? He's not mellow anymore. Clank that jar and see if Lau comes in. Lau. There he goes. I hear him. I hear him coming. There he is. Hold on. What do you got? Oh, don't give him those. Those are disgusting.
Okay.
I gotta throw those out.
Oh.
That's called popcorn. Styrofoam.
Those
are healthy cookies. They don't like those at all.
These squares?
Yeah.
They don't like them?
Well, they'll eat them, but they won't like them. Here, bring it over here so you can. They're fine. Go ahead and give it to them. It's healthy.
You give it.
All right.
He's got them. Jim. Look. Oh, look at that.
Jimmy, come here.
Look at
Boy. Jimmy wants it from you. Jump off? Can I have the other one? Good boy. There we go. The dogs have had their cookies. And you know what that means? Yeah. That's the end of the show.
Joe.
Thanks again. I will see you all again very, very soon. And until then, bye
for now.